Issue 26, Combat Patrol. A great value issue, this one, the Wraith Lord. Hello and welcome to The Lucky Roll, an eclectic channel for eclectic games. And today we're going to be doing issue 26 of Hachette Collection's Combat Patrol. And this one comes with a Wraith Lord. Now, it's an interesting issue because it's a single issue. You just need this issue to collect the entire model, so it's one of the better value ones. In fact, it was one I tried to buy a couple of, but was so popular that the newsagent was only able to secure one for me. So if you do see these issues out in the wild, I'd say do grab them because they'd be among the best value issues out there. You have, of course, the how to build guide and how to paint guide. So it literally is an issue that's all completely self-contained. You have some interesting lore here as well, such as the spirit stones. Now, every Eldar, since they can't really die anymore because their souls will be consumed by Slaanesh, they have a spirit stone or a waystone. So if they die, the waystone will capture the soul of the actual Eldar. It'll be retrieved and they use to bring it back to their infinity circuit. So basically, the other Eldar are keeping the slain Eldar safe from the being devoured by Slaanesh and just keeping that lost Eldari spirit soul within their community, within their craft world. And they will use these stones to put into a Wraith Lord machine, and so that they can come back and fight again. So it's an interesting little bit of lore, and it kind of gives you an incentive of how much they kind of value each other, especially as they're kind of a dying race. Different machines would have different souls. So I mean, like this one, of course, would be a Wraith Knight. It would have two kind of souls, one which pilots the suit and one which is the just a dead warrior in a spirit stone. You have ghost warriors. You have shattered stones. Now there's a form of Eldar called the Drukhari, which are basically bad Drukhari. The Eldar would become monks, would try not to defeat Slaanesh, whereas the Drukhari have completely given themselves to their desire, to their lusts, to everything. They don't really want to be eaten by she who thirsts by Slaanesh, but they don't want to kind of give up being hedonistic kind of amoral monsters either. So what these guys will actually do in some cases, they'll capture the stones from Eldar, smash them, and then build them into their suits or into psychic torture devices called tormentors, just so they can actually torture the soul of the fallen Eldar. So the Eldar are not nice, but the Drukhari are even less nice. You have here Beyond the Veil. So there's parts in real space where the warp is kind of present. So basically it's kind of a mixture of the warp and a mixture of real reality. Some of these places would be the Eye of Terror, which used to be the focus of the entire 40k universe. After the Horus Heresy, the bad guys, essentially Horus, got killed and they retreated into the Eye of Terror, which is where the warp was the home of the warp in the real universe, and they kind of take refuge and stay there, and kind of time moved at a different pace, so they kind of constantly come in and out and harass the rest of the Imperium. So that was kind of that's one classic place where reality and the warp merged. You have the Maelstrom, which is an area of intense warp storms that sits in the Ultimata Segmentum, and it's become a haven for pirates and followers of chaos. And you have the Prosperin Rift, which was the site of a war between the Grey Knights and a Mystic Charger and the Thousand Suns, a sorcerer band of Chaos Space Marines. So if there's any psychic shenanigans, it can kind of weaken the fabric of the universe and allows the warp to actually pour through. You have here the stats of the actual Wraith Lord as well, which was I won't say it was easy to build, but it's a very kind of weird shaped model. It's very cool looking, but how do I put it? I wouldn't rush the build of it. And of course you have here the Vanguard action, which allows you to kind of use the Wraith Lord against some of the actual Tyranids, and of course the next couple of issues. So The Mini itself, I believe, is an old one, but kind of cool, I have to be honest. A very interesting kind of looking model. It always kind of reminded me of the xenomorphs from Aliens with that type of kind of odd-shaped head. But if you look here from the back, that it's really just limbs. The torso is just this tiny little bit here on top, whereas you've got massive long legs, massive long arms, and I kind of a massive long head. So it's a very kind of dangly type of machine. So if you didn't have the tabard here, the waist would be all the way up here. So again, a very interesting kind of model. It comes with a lot of different kind of weapons that you can put on its shoulder. So I went for the Shuriken laser cannon here. And you have, of course, Shuriken pistols, which are adorned on its actual wrists. And you have here, of course, the actual sword as well. So, I mean, it's it can take on all comers. It's not a pushover model. It's also kind of an oldish model, but you can tell because this was the actual sprue it came with. So we have here some of the actual other weapon options that could come with it. So you have, of course, different hands, different types of weapons, including the Shuriken gun, I believe, which shoots the portal, and the plasma version, and just kind of a high functioning Shuriken. You have different kind of tabards here as well for the front. So there is a few different options for it, even 2 different feet. So when I was building it, I found it kind of hard to pose a little bit, because again, it's a very dangly kind of model where the center of gravity is super high, practically up into its chest. So when you're building it, be a little wary of it. But now that I've built it, I'm quite happy with it, and I think it's kind of a pretty cool looking thing. And of course, he stands head and shoulders above your standard Guardian. So this is what you get in issue 26 of Combat Patrol. An interesting issue. One that, again, I tried to buy more than one of, but couldn't. So if you see it in the wild, I'd say snag it, because it's certainly one of the better value ones out there. As always, if you enjoy these videos, please like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And until next time, this is Sean, signing off.